A golf tournament funded by Saudi Arabia is asking questions of how the sport is run and what, if anything, the sport stands for. At the Centurion course in the south of England, some of the world's best players have gathered.
It's an exciting time. I think it's exciting for the game of golf, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Excitement all round. And this is a series of 8 tournaments aimed, we're told, at giving players more freedom.
LIV Golf has given them the opportunity for another pathway to be the independent contractors, go play where they need to play, when they want to play, for more money.
Former world number 1 Greg Norman is the public face of LIV Golf. Its tournaments will last 54 holes, not the traditional 72. And former world number 2 Phil Mickelson has called that a progressive format. Progressive, though, isn't a word often used about Saudi Arabia, as its critics point out.
What we're talking about here are severe, extensive, persistent human rights abuses in Saudi Arabia.
And while freedom is being offered to golfers, it's not on offer to some Saudis. The US government says there are credible reports of forced disappearances, torture by government agents, executions for non-violent offences. It also notes that women continue to face discrimination and that there is arbitrary arrest and detention. Then there's the killing of the Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. In 2018, he walked into the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. He was then murdered, his body was dismembered, his remains have never been located. The Saudi government called it a rogue operation by its agents, but US intelligence concluded that Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman approved an operation in Istanbul to capture or kill Jamal Khashoggi, and this was the UN's conclusion.
The responsibility of the state of Saudi Arabia is involved. It is involved in the killing, it is involved in the lack of an effective investigation, it is involved in the lack of an effective prosecution.
The state was involved, says the UN, and Mohammed bin Salman was in charge of that state then. He's in charge of it now. He's also chair of the Saudi investment fund, which is bankrolling this golf series. And in the view of the Washington Post, what we're seeing is a government trying to use golf to cleanse its global reputation. Or Amnesty International says it's yet one more event in a series of sports washing exercises that the Saudi authorities are using to clean its blood-soaked image. And the BBC's Dan Rowan tried to raise these concerns with the governor of the Saudi investment fund.
It's the big thing in golf, and we're going to enjoy it. That's why I'm here. Yeah. I'm going to play the pro-am, and I'm going to have a lot of, hopefully, fun.
Mr. Rumiyan is hoping to have fun. But Dan had one more question.
Can I just ask you very quickly about these suggestions of sports washing? What do you say to that? What's your response?
I'm really not sure about this terminology. But
Mr. Rumiyan said he'd look it up. Meanwhile, we still wait on a formal explanation of why Saudi Arabia is doing this. We do know it has a strategy to unfold new opportunities for non-oil GDP growth. That push to find revenue away from oil is real. Perhaps golf is part of that. And whatever the Saudi goal with LIV Golf, Pro Graham McDowell is happy to help.
If Saudi Arabia wanted to use the game of golf as a way for them to get to where they want to be, and they have the resources to accelerate that experience, you know, I think we're proud to help them on that journey.
Graham McDowell is proud, though, as we've heard, the experience for some Saudis is rather better for some than others. And when Greg Norman was asked about Jamal Khashoggi's murder, he replied, look, we've all made mistakes, and you just want to learn from those mistakes and how you can correct them going forwards. But not everyone has made those mistakes. The US and the UN don't even think it was a mistake. And Jamal Khashoggi's fiancée has said of those golfers working with the Saudis, how can we go forward when those who ordered the murder are still unpunished and continue to try to buy back their legitimacy? The players, though, are going forward. Phil Mickelson's playing, and back in February, he talked about the Saudis, saying, if you'll allow me to paraphrase, they're scary so-and-sos to get involved with. He went on, we know they kill Khashoggi and have a horrible record on human rights. They execute people over there for being gay. Knowing all of this, why would I even consider it, he asked. Why indeed? Well, he cleared that up, adding, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reshape how the PGA Tour operates. The chance to overhaul the administration of golf in the US was, despite those reservations, too good to pass up. Mickelson apologised for what he said, took a break from golf, but he's back at the tournament.
I don't condone human rights violations at all. I don't think nobody here does throughout the world, and I'm certainly aware of what has happened with Jamal Khashoggi, and I think it's terrible.
Terrible, says Phil Mickelson, and he also outlined the upsides of working with a state that the UN concluded was responsible.
I've also seen the good that the game of golf has done throughout history, And I believe that LIV Golf is going to do a lot of good for the game as well.
Golf as a force for the greater good. It's not yet clear how that will work inside Saudi Arabia. Certainly, though, LIV Golf could be a force for good for those wanting to change how pro golf is organised, as the BBC's Ian Carter explains.
Professional golf is effectively a pyramid, and at the very top of that pyramid are two main tours, the European Tour, which is now known as the DP World Tour, and the PGA Tour, based in the United States. That's where the very best players play, and each year they're competing for in excess of $400 million.
To take on that system, the Saudis are offering huge sums. This first event has prize money of $25 million. It's the most lucrative golf tournament in history. The winner takes $4 million. For comparison, the top prize at the Masters this year was $2.7 million. The promise of more money has proved persuasive for some. Dustin Johnson, Lee Westwood, Sergio Garcia and Ian Poulter, all huge stars of the game, will play. This is Lee Westwood's reason.
This is my job. I do this for money, and it's not the only reason for doing it, you know. But, you know, if anybody comes along and gives any of us a chance of a pay rise, then you have to seriously consider it, don't you?
He has considered it, and he's decided to play. And he'll be far from the only sports star to benefit from Saudi money. There's a $600 million deal with Formula One. $400 million went for a controlling stake in Newcastle Football Club. And now over $2 billion will go to golf in the coming years. And the players who take the money know it may affect where they can play. Here's Ian Carter again.
Pro golfers like to think of themselves as independent contractors, but the reality is that if they are playing on a tour, they have obligations to it. And if they want to play for a rival, well, they have to apply for a waiver. That's exactly what they did when LIV Golf came calling, and the tours said no.
The tours said no, but Greg Norman has kept making the case.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to unlock the potential for the game of golf to truly grow.
It's certainly a chance for the players' bank balances to grow and for Saudi Arabia to pursue its goals. For golf more broadly, we'll see. And as the series began, it tweeted, "Shot just got real." Indeed it did, as we see golfers try to explain where, if at all, they draw the line.
If Vladimir Putin had a tournament, would you play there?
That's speculation. Not even going to comment on speculation.
No comment on that question. And in their own different ways, the golfers have been making this point.
We're not politicians. I know you guys hate that expression, but you know, we're really not, unfortunately.
Back in May, Lee Westwood said, "I don't think sport and politics should mix." That may be the hope, but sport and politics frequently do. And whether the players want to be political or not, by stepping onto the first tee, the players are choosing to work directly with Saudi Arabia. Given its human rights record, that choice, unavoidably, has a political dimension.